A couple weeks ago, I had sort of supported two things. One was take the money out of the banks, which seems to have been happening, and the second was to shop on Palm Beach during the Christmas season with Occupy Wall Street type of t-shirts on. Since then, I've also thought about how to best maybe make an action that brings more people to the movement. Not necessarily that I'm not trying to be here, but people who at this point are looking for jobs. Here's a thought. What if we had some sort of a setup, let's say a long flagler, on the same day that you guys do the soapbox and the march and all that, on a Saturday, same day that the green market is happening, and we do it with something called a labor pool organized by OWS. And the idea behind it would be is to get some of the people who are unemployed or underemployed to show up as though they were looking for a job, for like a job interview, put them in sort of sections or whatever, not sections, but something with a sign maybe that says construction, IT, hospitality, or whatever,
yes.
and get some of these people from Labor Ready, and what's the Workforce Alliance, get some notes out there somehow into these people's hands that say on Saturdays from 10 to 2, OWS is sponsoring a Labor Ready pool. I think what it does is it makes the people who say they have money or want to hire people, that's the wrong button. It makes them kind of put their money where their mouth is. And it gives them an absolutely large pool of people who, again, are unemployed or underemployed to choose from. They can show up in suits and ties if their particular, occupation, looks like that. In other words, they're going to be going on a job interview. Painters show up in their painting duds or whatever the case may be. I think what it would essentially do is it would connect us to the people who are being left out of the system, obviously, but who are needing a way to connect to the people who can offer the jobs. And, in no other way other than just to say, you can go and you can interview 10 people, and you may need a landscaper, you may need a guy who's going to teach you how to work Microsoft Excel. But there they are, right there. They're willing and ready to work, and OWS, when I say OWS, is sponsoring this kind of setup. And I think what happens too is then that's a decentralized way of getting these people into the system without having this hierarchy of the human resources department and the personnel and all the people that they have to go through. It's a thought, and then sort of coming away from that thought but adding to it would be taking some of these people. Let's say somebody's a bookkeeper, somebody else knows how to run a clothing store or something to that effect. My thought would be is we could run our own goodwill. So you get 5 people who may be amongst these people who are unemployed, and they have their own brainstorming session together, and they say, we can open up our own consignment shop. We can go ahead and we can find a landlord maybe, maybe everybody goes out there looking for one, that would take 20% of proceeds or 15% of proceeds as their rent. And then you go ahead and I actually have done this myself. You put a banner in the window and say consignments being taken, and whether you're doing furniture or clothing or whatever. And this is just one idea I think that you can get out of a bunch of people who are looking for jobs in several different ways. You could have IT guys start to set up a little session where people like myself who don't know how to run computers very well go with their computers and say, I need to learn how to use email better. And they charge these people $20 an hour. You could do the same where you have a Wi-Fi setup. But being sponsored by OWS makes those people understand that we're on their side and that we are looking out for their best benefit. and that they need to join us in understanding that that's why we're here and that's why we're doing what we're doing. It's a thought, again, it's an action that says, you know, we're together. We are the 99%.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, you know, I guess, I wish I could say I have a lot of time to expend on this, but I'm working hard enough to try and keep my own head above water. But I think the idea is a very self-empowering one to a certain extent. If we could get people out there, oh, I did buy a sheet. and the sheet could be ripped, and it could just say labor pool organized by OWS, which I think is really important to identifying, you know, who's doing this. And have it like we have some of these big banners out here on the fences, and have it so that people who are standing along Flagler Avenue, I would say right across from the grain market on Saturdays, and you just start showing up. And maybe some of us are underemployed or unemployed. So that's it.
Good.
Right. Oh, question? Yeah.
Or suggestion or perhaps